I guess slowing down at the sign counts as not speeding. I apologize if this is picking up me sniffling a little bit. The weather and winter allergies conspire to keep me from ever breathing normally on a day-to-day basis. And I walked out of the house without taking an allergy pill today, so winning. I almost feel like I should relocate my GoPro to my head so you guys can see more of what it is I see. I won't think about that. Truly, this guy should be in NASCAR. It's got a Monte Carlo. Oh, it's the limited edition pace car, clearly. As he almost pulls out in front of someone. Distant relative of Brad Keselowski. If you're a NASCAR fan, that's awesome. I think the sport is great. It's about as American as apple pie, about as political as Congress, and about as well organized as, well, I can't think of anything that's as badly organized in some cases. Yes I can. DMG's attempt to manage AMA Pro Road Racing. That was worse. I gotta admit, for the first time in a long time, I'm excited about the U.S. racing. Wayne Rainey and Moto America, I think, is going to be good for the sport. My only concern, my biggest concern, now that they have a TV deal, lack of races. And I really hope that this isn't just going to become some sort of pet project, you know, red-headed stepchild to MotoGP, and a continuing feeder series to racing everywhere but here. I would rather see at least parts of it feed up to MotoGP, fine, give people a path. But also a strong series like British Superbikes here for the States, something where the racing is bar to bar, you know, where they're banging fairings and pushing each other and really, you know, getting the most. And not only that, but you had Honda run well, Kawasaki run well. You had Ducati near the front, not running greatly. You had Suzuki win. You know, BMW win multiple times. You know, that's something to be said for that series. Obviously, the rules package works. The caliber of the riders work. You know, that's... You can't ask for more than that. AMA the last few years has been the all Yamaha show. Which is, you know, fun for Yamaha. And I guess to me, it really negates Josh Hayes' accomplishments. When you look at who he's racing against, I mean, he's dominating a field of not has-beens. I mean, they're very talented riders. But clearly the machinery and the rules set up in AMA made it far more difficult for the other teams to compete with the R1. You know, Kawasaki wasn't there. Honda's not playing, you know, in any meaningful way. There was a Honda in this past season. And then, I mean, that's it. You basically had Yamaha and Suzuki, and the Suzuki's the most outgunned 1,000cc sport bike on the planet right now. You know, and honestly, the biggest tarnishment to his legacy was not being able to beat Josh Herrin for the championship in 2013. Josh Herrin's a fine rider, but yes, he won the championship. I got it. And I'm sure people have the same sentiment about Nicky Hayden when he won his, his championship, except he went toe-to-toe when he needed to with Rossi and beat him straight up. Herrin did what he had to do. But I think, honestly, the biggest tarnishment would be the fact that he didn't win the title that year and lost it versus Josh Herrin winning it, per se. Shot himself in the foot with mistakes and, pushing when he could have just won the championship. So, we'll see. Mladen had his moments with Ben Spies, but that was a straight-up dogfight, bar to bar. Mladen actually won more races over that 3-year span than Ben. Ben just managed to always finish second, and Mladen had a few mistakes. He had some offs. Tough call as to which way I would rather be. I mean, Mladen had 7 titles, I think, at that point. Might have had 10 if he hadn't had the wrecks. It's hard to say, but truthfully, Ben went over and won World Superbike in his rookie season in pretty dominant fashion. And I think the only reason he was at that level was racing against somebody like Matt Mladen. I'm not a fan of the man personally and how he's treated, people in general. I'm not sure how he is in his private life, so let's hope he's, better. But as far as competitors and things, he was a bit of a jerk. I believe they'd use some stronger words. This is actually one of my favorite roads. It's not very long, unfortunately. But it is fun. I haven't been on it in a while. I ride it sometimes during the week. You got to be careful because there's always some moron who, I don't know if you can see the seam in the road right there. So when I ride back roads, that's the edge of the road for me. I refuse to cross the center line, right, wrong, or indifferent. To me, it makes the road significantly more challenging. And it takes what could be a super high pace and really kind of dials it back a bit. And yet you're leaning over arguably a little further in some cases and just having a good time. Now, there are moments where I cross the line simply because it's safer or whatever, but I certainly try not to. But on that note, you come around a corner, doing a little over the speed limit, sometimes just the speed limit with the way these roads are set up. Got a nice lean on, and there's a big frickin' truck in your way. By the time I leave my normal job, there's always one young man riding his bicycle home in the middle of the road. I've learned to look out for him, but, I ride this road. I understand that he's there, but somebody else, not so much. Now, I'm not arguing that we should get over there and line the road and put all those things in place, because Lord knows all that costs money, and that's tax dollars, and I get tired of that crap too. But I would just love to see drivers not be douchebags, frankly. Biggest danger to us is other drivers. I always assume they're going to try to run me over, cut me off, running to the back of me. So I ride what I'd like to call aggressively defensive. You know, I don't leave myself in places that could cause me injury or any sort of damage. I really can't describe to you guys how well this gear is performing in this temperature. I mean, it's overcast. There is zero sun other than enough to make things bright. But it's not adding any heat. Air gauge says 42 degrees. I'll buy that. And it's like a nice 70-degree day, maybe even a little warmer than my fingertips, with just a little bit of a chilly breeze going on. I mean, it's great. I could probably go for several hours before I had to stop, you know, due to being cold. Hey, I'm not the only crazy on the road today on a bike. Harley rider that waved. It's awesome. Oh, sorry, guys. Funny thing about here, we often refer